So, welcome back everybody to the wonderful ISLA NAPALI. Next episode of Season 2 is just around the corner. So now, take your seat, sit back and relax, and have fun with the next episode of our lovely island series. And grab yourself something to drink and enjoy. See you when the time-lapse starts. Boom. Okay, so before we go into what I'm actually doing in this video, first of all, I'm sorry for those who like slow time lapses. This video has been increased in time quite a lot and a bit more than usually. Reason being is that this is a recording from Twitch, which is usually me being a bit slower than when I don't stream at the same time. Also, we are having some looks to the left and right. I'm totally honest with you, I wanted to cut some stuff out. I couldn't do that because I'm really having some time issues at the moment. I'm recording this now, don't let me lie, at 1:30 a.m., which is not good for me, but I'll survive eventually. So, yeah, as you can tell, I need to do that, and yeah. Anyways, I wanted to go into a lot of criticism you guys came up with in the last couple of episodes, because I really want to up my channel stuff again, and your happiness rate. This is my KPI, so here I am to improve it. Some people mentioned that a lot of things don't really work about this coaster, mainly talking about the switch track, and yeah, I kind of, no, not only kind of, I do agree. This is also why we changed a lot of things about this thing. In the live stream, we agreed on the fact that the way it is right now, it will work. However, it's quite a bit unusual, but it still would be realistic. So it's not really unrealistic in that kind of sense that it wouldn't work, like realistic work, like physics-wise, if you will. Is that 100% realistic in terms of how it exists in real life? No, but that's also not the idea about the whole series. Hyperrealism doesn't mean that we have to copy everything, right? Like, if I build, for example, a house that has like 4 pillars and a roof on top of it, and it doesn't look like anything else existing, it still is a house that could be built, and it still would be hyperrealistic as long as I stick within measurements that kind of make sense, right? So this is the point I'm going to try to make here. For those of you who do misunderstand that with copying real-life examples, that's not the idea of ISLA NAPALI. It's being realistic or hyper-realistic in the sense of being physically realistic in terms of being built in real life. Full stop. Yeah, well, then people have been, again, for a reason, complaining that the overall progress in the last couple of episodes were not really enough. Mainly because, you know, it's always hard to fulfill everyone's wishes, and this is also why I need your feedback again in the comments down below. Really important. I'll repeat that at the end of the video again. Tell me, what do you prefer? Do you prefer slower time lapses over quicker ones, but then also with the sacrifice of not having that great progress in any episode? So as I said, sometimes when I sit down on my own in my little chamber here and just build in a flow, we can also have a slower time-lapse, but yet get stuff done, right? There's no issue about that. But sometimes I'm streaming and I'm taking the footage from the stream and just cut it a bit and do my voiceover and do some editing stuff. And then eventually the outcome is not as much as it would be usually. So that's the first idea. That's the first thing we can do. Or, and this is the second thing, or actually we have 3 opportunities here. The second opportunity would be then to go back how I used to do it in the very beginning, and that would be to kind of have the time lapses with an increased footage rate of like 10 to 12 times, which means the time lapse of the video is quite quick, to be honest, to follow. All the, you know, I could also make the episodes even longer, but I think going into well into the 20s with a time lapse is maybe a tad bit too much, also in terms of how you want to perceive it and how you want to enjoy it. Like, you know, content wise, that's kind of hard to eat, if you will. it's really hard to take. I'm honest, I couldn't do that myself, so I like every time-lapse video between 15 and 20 minutes. That's totally fine for me, but everything above that is kind of just it's exhausting. So I don't know if you agree, but that's how I do see it. And so it would be then shorter, but yet being quicker in terms of how the time-lapse looks like. And yeah, we would get apparently more stuff done in the end of the episode. The third approach would be something a bit more different. That would be making the episode a bit slower, like you guys asked for recently, like not speeding it up more than 4 or 5 times, even though 5 times sometimes is already quite too quick. So yeah, 4 times might be the key number. And then give you like a very short 4 to 5 minutes real-time overview of what we've done. So to give you the opportunity to give better feedback, because again, that was the argument I was commenting on those comments. The main reason for me not doing like an episode every 2 weeks, like for example, Uzuri Gardens. If you take Uzuri Gardens, which is an awesome project, don't get me wrong, it's amazing, and they do it another way, which is totally fine, because there's like not that one perfect way of doing it. They always tend to build a whole area and then show you bits and pieces of time lapses, but then also go through the area and do it. They do it kind of the non-Emlandia style, right? I think that's kind of the style that has been introducing this, and I think it's good to stick with it. Masked surely has a lot of fun doing it that way, and is also nerdy enough to look at the little nitty-gritty details everywhere to make this really exciting to watch, and at the same time valuable to watch. So that would be a thing I couldn't do, because then that would imply that I'm giving you everything already. Like, you know, I go build the whole stuff and show it to you like, here, that's it. And then you could obviously give me a lot of feedback, but then I would need to basically rebuild the entire stuff again, because you would definitely come up with a lot of arguments that are true. So I would need to do like the same work over and over and over again. Like, I think if we would have been doing that way, ISLA Napali would still be around the first coaster, I'm guessing, but maybe second, but that's about it. So I feel like that the way of doing it right now helps me getting better feedback and being able to react to this feedback a lot quicker than I would be if I would continue to build whole areas first. So a little bit of a difference is obviously doing that on live streams, because I can get your feedback in directly, but I just can't do live streams all the time. It's just not doable, time-wise, whatever, you know. Even though if I, you know, in a perfect world, I would only live stream, full stop, and then just do some videos eventually. But that's not gonna work out, because I don't want to leave you guys away, and I just don't want to leave you alone, and I still don't want to leave YouTube in general, because I just like it way too much, and I can't just get you all in the same time watching it live. So videos on demand definitely have their place in this world, in this Rudi world, in this Camel world. So here we go. This is what I love to do, and this is why I try to find the best way of doing it for you guys, and also for me. So for me, quite a few things work. I can just go in and produce way less episodes, but then just make one episode way longer with a lot more content. That's doable. Don't get me wrong, it's easy, but I feel like how the content is perceived nowadays, and how people tend to watch content, I'm not that kind of channel, and not that big enough that people wait for like 2 weeks for one episode and then be there like, and 8,000-9,000 people watching this one episode. It's not gonna happen on my channel. This is why I made the experiment now to make this 1 month of videos. And let me tell you, after a deep analysis over the last couple of days, and don't worry, I'm not going to talk about that too much, the analysis just showed me there is absolutely no difference at all between doing a few videos a week, nearly no videos a week, or a video every day. No freaking difference, at least for me. And this leads to the fact it's only about how you guys perceive me doing videos. It doesn't really matter how many I upload. It doesn't really matter when I upload them. It doesn't really matter what I talk about. It doesn't matter. Fact is that always when there's something new, people watch my videos about, let's say, 5, maybe if I'm lucky, 6,000 times. The second video gets like, I'm talking about Planet Coaster, by the way, gets like 3,000 if I'm lucky, and then it goes down to like 1,500, max of 2,000. That's it, full stop. It doesn't matter if the channel grows, it doesn't matter. This is the same for like 2 years now. 2 years, flat. It doesn't matter when, where, how, whatever I did, whatever I tried, this is the amount of views it gets. Full stop. Easy. I can deal with that. That's the way it is. So then I can do it the way I want because I don't care, you know. If it's that way and nothing really changes, why changing things to the worst then, I guess. So I want to do it the way you guys like it the most. And I have a feeling, at least my feeling tells me at the moment, that you guys like having these videos the way they are at the moment, with this very organized schedule of having Fridays and Sundays of the normal episode and a Wednesday of guest flow. Kind of works, I guess. But please let me know in the comments below. What is your opinion on that? So what is your favorite way of seeing ISLA NAPALI? Is it your constant program a week so that you don't really mind too much about what is the result of the episode? It's more about the progress, because at least for me, I'm that kind of person. I'm like a sucker for progress. I like progress. I like if things work out in the long term rather than being very tactical in each and every episode. I mean, that's kind of because why I'm strategist, I guess. But I just love to see at the long run, and this is why I don't mind that there is not too much progress in one video, as long as the progress is somewhat valuable, right? So as you can see, this whole episode, this is also why I didn't really talk too much about it. This whole episode works around the roof of the main station. And before I forget, because that was an awesome idea in the live stream, the story now about this building is it has been the visitor center of ISLA NAPALI before it has been turned into a theme park. And the visitor center was basically a botanical stations. Actually, it was a botanical garden around there. It wasn't a botanical garden, and the visitor center was also like the visitor center for the wildlife in terms of plants and flowers and stuff growing in ISLA NAPALI. So a nice story, nice background story, I guess, and a really fitting one, to be honest, because then we can also go in and build the rest of the coaster in a really colorful, flower-ish environment, and make sure that this kind of, you know, meanders through what has been the botanical garden in the past. So we can really do that, and maybe have some leftover planters here and there. So there's a lot of creative power in there. So I really like this idea a lot. So I feel like this is a perfect backstory. If you don't agree, please let me know what would be your backstory in the comments below. But for me, this story does make a lot of sense, and this is why I wanted to make this really like a visitor center in terms of having something special going on. You did maybe notice that I have relocated the roundish roof that I made in the last episode, and as I already stated in the last episode, I wasn't really happy with the placement of it, and I just moved it around quite a few times, as you have seen in the end of last episode. And I just figured that this roof is way too big for whatever you want to use it for. Or at least what I just tried, and in the end I decided that it could become a kind of second layer roof for this visitor center, with having a somewhat open roof area, which you kind of see this a bit more often in Hawaii than I've thought, but I did a little bit of research, so I found a few examples where you have this. So it always is the same, that you have kind of this open roof area of the main roof, and above that open roof area you have a equally tilted second layer of roof, so that, for example, rain and stuff can't get in, and it's even shaped that way so that even like if it's very windy and the rain would come really from sideways, the tilting of the roof kind of works out that way that there's also still no rain coming in, that effectively the rain would even need to be pushed some like a little bit upwards, which does happen, to be honest, in like thunderstorms or like heavy storms. You would see that it's happening. Rain can go upwards. It sounds strange, but it's true, and it's still not waterproof 100%, but it still does help with most of the things. So yeah, I mean, it's okay, for whatever reason, my freaking recording did crash here, like my voice recording. I was actually talking to the end of this episode, but then I just noticed that my voice recording stopped. So sorry for the harsh cut, but this gives me also the opportunity to talk about something I forgot in the first attempt, and this is also talking about what is going on my channel at the moment. I really want to remind you of the fact that there is the European election on Sunday. Oops, I just hit my microphone again. Wouldn't have been a Rudi episode without that, right? Yeah, just a little reminder, please make sure to go vote. Then the second thing is, do you want to have this weekend? I was thinking into doing this because there's still a lot of footage left in the next episode of the station. I couldn't just fit it into one episode. That's what she said. Idea would be that you get another time-lapse episode tomorrow, kind of finishing most of it then, before you would then get on Sunday, or depending on how much I can do off-screen, again on Sunday and Monday, get another time-lapse, get a real-time overview of the station so that you can really give in-depth feedback before we then go on Monday with the next stream, and hopefully doing some garden work around the coaster, and then go back to the log flume, which we have a lot of work to do still. So please tell me how you prefer that. Talking about what you prefer, again another reminder, let me know also in the comments down below. Do you prefer longer videos and less often with more progress, or do you prefer more videos with kind of a bit of progress that gives you the opportunity to give feedback, and also then having more videos? That would be still very interesting to me to know, because that helps how, as I said, for me it doesn't really change too much. I'm playing the exact same way. It just would change the amount of time that goes into one single episode. And I'm not talking about quality-wise. I'm only talking about this like progress-wise. Please let me know, because that's about it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one as well. If you liked it, consider please giving it a like, and also subscribing if you haven't already, because that helps you to see more of the stuff here. If you like ISLA NAPALI, that would make sense. So, see you in the next one, guys. Stay tight. Until then, bye, guys.